Hello, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. We've got fresh, exclusive videos and the latest updates just for you. Before we dive in, make sure to join our channel and hit that like button. This is the best way to stay on top of all the breaking news. Despite the recent setbacks to the Los Angeles Dodgers pitching rotation, Shohei Ohtani's timeline for making his return to the mound remains unchanged. In recent weeks, the Dodgers have experienced a series of unfortunate injuries to their starting pitchers, most notably with Blake Snell, who has been sidelined with left shoulder inflammation, and Tyler Glasnow, who is dealing with right shoulder inflammation. Both pitchers have been placed on the 15-day injured list, leaving a significant gap in the team's rotation. While Tony Gonsolin is set to make his highly anticipated 2025 debut on Wednesday, it's clear that the Dodgers will need to continue relying heavily on bullpen games or spot starts to fill the void left by their injured pitchers. These makeshift solutions have been a temporary workaround, but the team will likely need to continue with this approach for the foreseeable future, especially given the uncertainty surrounding the status of some key pitchers. However, there is some hope on the horizon for the Dodgers, as they are eventually set to welcome a major reinforcement in Shohei Ohtani. The two-way superstar has been diligently working on his pitching in preparation for his eventual return to the mound this season. Ohtani has been throwing off a mound twice a week as part of his recovery process, but even though his return to pitching is eagerly anticipated, it remains months away. Despite the Dodgers' immediate need for starting pitching, team management is adamant that they will not rush Ohtani's return. Manager Dave Roberts was clear when asked about the possibility of speeding up Ohtani's pitching schedule in light of the current injuries. No, not at all, Roberts firmly stated. I think Shohei is separate as far as the process. I think Gomer said it. It's a week-to-week thing. The availability of the other pitchers has no bearing on Shohei's program. Roberts' response emphasizes that the Dodgers are fully committed to a cautious and measured approach with Ohtani, acknowledging that his return to pitching will follow its own carefully planned timeline. For Ohtani, the journey back to the mound has been one of gradual progression, and he remains fully on board with the team's cautious handling of his schedule. In a recent update on his progress, Ohtani expressed his desire to soon take the next step in his recovery by facing live batters, but he also expressed his understanding of the team's cautious approach to ensure that he is fully prepared for his eventual return. Initially, Ohtani's bullpen sessions were limited to fastballs, including both two-seam and four-seam fastballs, as well as cutters. However, as his recovery has progressed, he began incorporating his splitter for the first time during a bullpen session on April 5th. This marks a significant step in his recovery, as the splitter is a key pitch in Ohtani's arsenal, and adding it back into his routine represents a crucial milestone in his progression. Despite this positive development, Ohtani has yet to utilize his slider in any bullpen sessions. This will likely be the next step in his rehabilitation process before he moves on to facing hitters. The slider is another essential pitch in Ohtani's repertoire, and his ability to integrate it back into his throwing routine will be another indicator of how close he is to returning to the mound. Once he is able to incorporate all of his pitches effectively, the next logical step will be facing live batters in controlled environments. Even with these positive steps, the Dodgers continue to be uncertain about the exact timeline for Ohtani's return. Manager Roberts provided a cautious estimate, stating that it is likely Ohtani will not take the mound for the Dodgers for another couple of months. This timeline is largely based on Ohtani's current recovery status, but Roberts emphasized that this estimate could change as Ohtani progresses through his rehabilitation process. While Ohtani's return to pitching remains an exciting prospect, the team is not willing to rush it and is committed to ensuring that he is fully ready to contribute at a high level when he eventually takes the mound. Looking back at the offseason, Roberts had initially suggested that Ohtani might make his Dodgers pitching debut around May. However, he has since acknowledged that this projection was overly optimistic. Given the challenges that Ohtani has faced in his recovery and the cautious approach the Dodgers are taking with his rehabilitation, it's clear that a May debut is no longer a realistic expectation. Despite the uncertainty surrounding Ohtani's exact return date, the Dodgers are hopeful that his eventual return to the mound will provide a major boost to their rotation. As it stands, the team is doing everything it can to manage the current injuries to its starting pitchers, relying on a combination of spot starters and bullpen games to fill the gaps. Ohtani's eventual return, though still months away, represents a much-needed reinforcement for the team's pitching staff. However, the Dodgers are steadfast in their commitment to ensuring that Ohtani's return is handled with the utmost care, allowing him to make a successful and sustainable comeback when the time is right. While the Dodgers wait for Ohtani to make his return, they will continue to manage their pitching staff through a difficult stretch of injuries. The team's ability to adapt and rely on unconventional solutions, such as bullpen games, will be crucial in keeping them competitive in the meantime. Ohtani's eventual return, though still on the horizon, offers hope for the team's future, but for now, the Dodgers are focused on the immediate challenges at hand, knowing that they must navigate the current pitching crisis while keeping Ohtani's long-term health and success at the forefront of their priorities. This article was originally published on Dodger Blue, offering detailed coverage of the Dodgers' pitching situation and the team's cautious approach to Ohtani's return to the mound. While fans may be eager to see the two-way star back in action, it's clear that the Dodgers are taking a careful, methodical approach to ensure that Ohtani's eventual return is successful and sustainable. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. In a surprising and somewhat controversial turn of events, Dave Roberts, the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, has made a bold statement about one of his star players, Max Muncy. Roberts, known for his typically reserved and professional demeanor, didn't hold back during a recent press conference when he suggested that Muncy's attitude was negatively impacting the team's chemistry. The comment, which quickly caught the attention of the sports world, raised eyebrows across the baseball community, leaving many to question what exactly Roberts meant by contaminating the roster. Max Muncy has been one of the Dodgers' most reliable hitters in recent years, contributing both power and consistency to the lineup. His bat has been a key part of the team's offensive identity, and his defensive versatility has earned him a regular spot in the starting lineup. Given Muncy's importance to the team's success, it's startling to hear his manager say that his behavior might be having a detrimental effect on the squad. At first glance, the statement seems out of character for Roberts, who has built a reputation for being a calm, composed figure at the helm of one of baseball's most successful franchises. The Dodgers have been perennial contenders, with a roster full of all-stars and a culture that has long been considered one of the best in the league. So, what could Roberts have meant by such a remark? To understand the context, it's essential to look at the dynamics of the Dodgers clubhouse. In a professional sports environment, team chemistry is often just as important as talent. Players must be able to work together, support one another, and maintain a positive, focused attitude throughout the grueling 162-game season. When a key player's behavior begins to disrupt that harmony, it can have ripple effects that affect everyone in the organization, from the coaches to the front office, and ultimately the players themselves. Dave Roberts, a former player himself, understands this better than most. He knows that the best teams are those that not only have talented players, but also a sense of unity and camaraderie that can propel them through tough stretches. Roberts' comments hint at the possibility that Muncy's demeanor, whether it's his approach to the game, his interactions with teammates, or his public statements, might not be aligning with the team's overall culture. However, the manager's words were not without nuance. Roberts didn't go as far as to directly blame Muncy for the Dodgers' struggles, or even suggest that he was a bad influence on the team. Instead, his comments seem to point toward a general sense that Muncy's presence, in some capacity, was creating an unhealthy atmosphere in the clubhouse. Whether this is the result of personal frustrations, pressure to perform, or any other number of factors, it's clear that Roberts feels something needs to change. The issue with Muncy's impact on the team isn't just limited to his on-field performance. Although Muncy's batting average has been below his usual standards in recent seasons, it's his attitude and overall presence that have raised concerns. The Dodgers are a team that thrives on positivity and a next-man-up mentality, But if a player like Muncy, who's a significant part of the roster, is exuding negativity or frustration, it can potentially affect the mindset of the entire team. Max Muncy is a fiery competitor. His passion for the game has never been in question, but sometimes that passion can boil over, particularly when things aren't going his way. For example, Muncy has often been vocal about his dissatisfaction with certain calls or situations during games, and while that's not uncommon in professional sports, it can create tension within the locker room. Roberts, as a manager, is undoubtedly trying to strike a balance between allowing Muncy to express his emotions and ensuring that those emotions don't spill over into detrimental behavior that could affect the morale of the team. There's also the broader context of team performance to consider. The Dodgers have been underperforming in certain areas, and the pressure on key players like Muncy is higher than ever. When a team of the Dodgers' caliber is expected to contend for championships every year, even the smallest disruptions can feel amplified. Players and coaches alike are always under intense scrutiny, and sometimes the internal pressures can manifest in ways that aren't immediately obvious to the public. Despite the tension that Roberts' comments have caused, it's important to remember that the relationship between a manager and his players is complex. Dave Roberts has been with the Dodgers for several years, and he knows how to motivate his players, especially when they're going through a rough patch. His comments about Muncy could be seen as a way to challenge him, to push him to elevate his game and refocus on what's best for the team as a whole. It's not uncommon for coaches to publicly challenge players when they feel those players have the potential to rise above a slump. Roberts has always had Muncy's back in the past, and this comment could be a reminder of that. Managers often have a responsibility to manage egos, especially when dealing with high-profile players like Muncy, and sometimes the tough love approach is necessary. This could very well be an attempt to reignite the competitive fire in Muncy and encourage him to refocus on being the leader the Dodgers need him to be. In the days following Roberts' remarks, the media frenzy surrounding Muncy intensified. Reporters flocked to the Dodgers clubhouse, seeking insight into how Muncy was responding to the criticism. For his part, Muncy was quick to downplay the situation, brushing off any notions of discord within the team. He reiterated his commitment to the Dodgers and expressed his desire to move forward and help the team get back on track. It's important to note that Muncy's reaction to the situation has been relatively composed. Despite the public criticism, he has continued to perform at a high level in games. His performance on the field will ultimately determine how this situation unfolds, as Roberts' comments about team chemistry are likely a reflection of the underlying pressures of a long and challenging season. The Dodgers will need Muncy to find his stride again, both in terms of his batting and his role within the clubhouse. As the season progresses, the balance between individual performance and team harmony will be key. For Roberts, his priority remains the success of the team, and if that means having difficult conversations with his star players, so be it. In the cutthroat world of professional baseball, no player, no matter how talented, is above scrutiny if their actions are perceived as hindering the team's goals. Looking ahead, the Dodgers will need to rally together if they hope to compete for another World Series title. The pressure is mounting, and every player, including Muncy, must find a way to contribute positively to the overall atmosphere of the team. The chemistry within the Dodgers clubhouse will be just as important as the runs they score or the outs they record on the field. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.